Welcome to the yoga practice for soulful conceptions. If you have these items handy, you'll need a yoga mat, 2 blocks, a bolster or pillow, a blanket or 2, and your fertility balls. So let's get started. Welcome to the practice designed for the first 2 weeks of your cycle. This practice is to help further assist your body in cleansing and detoxifying, and releasing any feelings of grief or loss as you move into this next cycle. With that said, if you're on the second half of your cycle, you can still practice this. You will just have modifications in certain areas, which we will note. So let's get started. You're going to bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Keep in mind that if your hips are very tight or the inner groins, you can always elevate what you're sitting upon or take blocks on the outer leg area to support your legs. We're going to rub the hands together, creating some heat. And then just place your hands right over the heart. Take a moment here to tune inward, to feel your body in space, to feel the weight of your pelvis, and to feel the length of your spine. Begin to notice your breath. Inviting the breath into the body a little more deeply, a little more consciously with each inhalation and exhalation. And then gently bow your head, taking this moment to set a conscious intention for your practice today. And once you have that for yourself, gently lift your head, open the eyes to a soft gaze. And then we're going to rub the hands together again. This time, clap your hands together. Feel the energy that's created between the hands. And then place your hands on the low belly with the thumbs at the navel and the index fingers touching. And just feel the warmth of your hands on your belly. Take a couple of breaths here. And then on your next inhale, as you inhale, take your arms open, lift your chest. As you exhale through your mouth, and kind of round in just a little bit. And then inhale, lift your chest, open your arms. Exhale. Two more. Keep your hands a few inches from your belly. Lift your spine so you're neutral. Just feel the warmth that's been created underneath your hands. Take another breath in. And on your exhale, press your hands into your belly like you're pressing all that energy right inside, in towards the womb. And then slide your hands to the outer leg and draw the legs together. So we're going to come to hands and knees. Just swing your legs around and come to your tabletop position here. Spreading the fingers bright, allowing the hands to be about shoulder width distance, maybe a little wider. Knees directly under hips and the toes are pointing straight back behind you. Press the tops of the feet down as best you can. And on your inhale, lift your gaze, lift your heart. As you exhale, round your upper back, draw your navel towards your spine, drop your head. Inhale, pulling the chest forward, broadening the collarbones, and exhale, rounding. Again, inhale, pulling the heart forward, and exhale. One more. and coming back to neutral. So grab your fertility ball, bring your knees together, and sit back on your shins for a moment. The next posture that we're going to do is contraindicated if you're on the second 2 weeks of your cycle and if you are on follicle stimulating drugs. And because of the nature of the posture, it's extremely expelling, great for detoxifying the body. But if you think you could be pregnant, you are pregnant, or again on the follicle stem, it's not safe to do. And so in this case, you would just set the ball to the side. You're still going to do the posture without the ball. So those of you on the first 2 weeks of the cycle, you're going to place the ball right at the pubic bone as close as you can get it. You're going to keep it secure with one hand. Take a breath in and elongate your spine. You're going to use the other hand as you exhale to lengthen your belly up and over the ball and start to reach your arms forward in space. Keep releasing your forehead down. If your forehead does not easily touch the floor, you can always take a block or blanket fold and place your forehead on that. If your shoulders are uncomfortable or in pain, having your arms reaching overhead, you can always bend your elbows any amount or even take your hands back towards your feet. So choose what feels best for you. We're going to take a few breaths here. The breathing may feel a little bit challenging. Do your best. As you inhale, feel your belly swell against the ball. As you exhale, let your belly, your navel, draw back towards your spine and allow the ball to move a little bit deeper in. And continue on your breath. Begin to slide your hands directly under your shoulders. Shrug your shoulders away from your ears, and on your exhale, gently press up to neutral. And just take a moment to feel. And then you're just going to remove the ball and place it to the side and come back to a hands and knees position, paralleling the knees, paralleling the feet. This time curling the toes under, firming the arms to straight and keeping the spine neutral. On your inhale, you're going to rock forward. Exhale, start to rock back. Keep your spine long, keep your chest forward, feel that nice toe stretch. And inhale, rocking forward in space. And exhale, rocking back. And again, inhale, feel your chest broaden as you come forward, and keep that broad chest as you draw your hips back. Moving on your breath, inhale. Exhaling back, one more. And then from here, see if you can keep your chest broad, your arms firm, and to lift your knees on your exhale and keep lifting them and keep lifting them. You might have to walk your feet back a little bit. Downward facing dog. And so here you're just going to start to pedal the legs, and you might readjust your hands. You'll just kind of see like where do you need to be in space that feels right for you. You want to feel that the spine can be long, the hips can be lifted. And then come to center. Inhale, look forward between your hands. Start to lower the knees down. Keep the heart reaching forward in space. Go slow. And then exhale, just rock back just for a moment. Let your head fall. And then you're going to inhale, come back up to hands and knees. And this time, you're going to keep the right top of foot pressing down, the toes pointing straight back behind you. Curl your left toes under and extend the leg back. So when you extend the leg back, don't go so far back that your whole body rocks back. You're just extending the leg, keeping your shoulders directly over your wrists. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, you're going to rock back. It's not a big movement. You'll feel a calf stretch. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Keep hugging your right outer hip into the midline. Exhale, back. And this time, inhale forward, exhale, press the right top of foot down and lift your right knee. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Last one. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, release your left foot to the floor. Rock back towards a modified child's pose. Your knees can just stay parallel. Just take a moment here just to soften the body. Soften the arms. It's a lot of weight on the wrists here, so if you feel like you need to give the wrists a little bit of love, a little bit of self-massage, feel free. Maybe rolling the wrists. And then reach the arms forward, firm the arms to straight. Inhale, start to come back up. Reset yourself where your wrists are directly under your shoulders. And, just as a reminder, if your wrists are really talking to you here and they're not happy, you can always do this work up on the fists with the inner wrist facing, or having your hands fully on blocks or wrists on blocks. So that's always an option. Second side. So here you're going to keep your left top of foot pressing down, the toes pointing straight back behind you. Curl your right toes under and extend the leg back. Just the leg. Don't rock the whole weight of the body. Take a breath in. The gaze remains slightly forward. On your exhale, rock back. Inhale forward and exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. This time, inhale forward, exhale, lift the left knee, just a couple inches. Inhale, lower, and exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, release your right foot to the floor. Bring your big toes touching, your knees wide for just a moment. Reach your hands forward in prayer position here. Allow your forehead to rest down on the mat. And maybe take your hands behind your head. Your fingers can rest down on your back, like you're going to scratch between your shoulder blades, or you can keep your hands in prayer, fingertips touching. And then extending the arms forward, separating your hands to about shoulder width, and gently rise up. Reset yourself for downward facing dog. So in this case, the knees and feet are parallel, but the hands are about a hand's width distance forward of the shoulders. Firming the arms to straight, take a breath in. Curling the toes under, exhale, lift the hips up and back. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. On the bottom of your exhale, step or walk your feet towards your hands, forward fold. And then bringing your hands to the top of your thighs, inhale, rise halfway to a flat back. Soften your knees and exhale, press all the way up with a flat back. So here we're going to begin to build some heat, not like we haven't already started. And so you can keep your feet at hip width distance, or you can bring your feet together. It is a little more challenging balance-wise that way, but see what feels good for you. I'm going to keep my feet just about hip width distance. So you're going to hook your thumbs like so. And as we move through the series, if you can remember, switch the crossing of the hook of the thumbs each time I say hook the thumbs, if you can remember. And so we're just going to break it down here, moving on the rhythm of the breath. You're going to hook your thumbs. On your inhale, bend your knees deeply, scoop the arms all the way up, reach up, Draw your tailbone down, and on your exhale, bend your knees, lay your belly on your thighs, release your arms, release your head. Inhale, interlace your hands behind your back and reach your arms up. And exhale, gently release your arms down. Inhale, rise halfway to a flat back. The fingertips can brush the shins if you want. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step your right foot way back, and gently drop the back knee down. The back toes can stay tucked or untucked depending on what feels good on your knee here. You're going to inhale, hook your thumbs, and reach up. And exhale, release your arms down, curl your toes under if they're not already. Lift the back leg, press back into plank, take a breath in. As you exhale, you can lower your knees, hug your elbows in, the chest comes down, and then release your body. Inhale, rise a little bit up, back bend here, and exhale, release. Press back, downward facing dog. You're going to inhale, lift your right leg in the air. Exhale, pull the foot all the way through. Gently drop your back knee. Hook your thumbs and inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to either side of your front foot and push off and step forward. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, hook your thumbs, inhale. Sweep the arms up, and exhale, bringing the hands to the heart. Take a moment, feel your breath. Hook your thumbs, bend your knees, inhale, scoop the arms up. Exhale, lay your belly on your thighs, forward fold, release your arms, interlace your hands. Inhale, reach your arms skyward. Exhale, gently release. Inhale, rise halfway to a flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands. This time, step your left foot way back, gently dropping that knee. Hook your thumbs, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bringing the hands to either side of your front foot. Press back into plank, inhale. Exhale, you can lower down knees, chest, chin as we did before, or all the way down. Keep your elbows hugging in. Release the tops of your feet. Inhale to a baby cobra. Exhale, release. Press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, pull the foot all the way through. Gently drop your back knee. Hook your thumbs. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the hands to the floor. Push off the back foot and step forward. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Hook your thumbs, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep up. Lengthen your tailbone, lift your heart. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Regain your breath. Take a moment. So we're going to flow through a full cycle. I'm not going to speak you through it, but go on your breath. Each move is a breath, just like I broke it down here. And so we will begin. taking a moment here, allowing your body to settle, just feeling the warmth of the body, the heart rate. And gently releasing your arms. So the next posture we're going to do is called runaway train. And this posture, because it is very heat building, very detoxifying, it's not appropriate to do if you're on the second half of your natural cycle, if you are in the 2-week wait or think you're pregnant, just skip it. And instead, while we're doing runaway train, you're going to come down into an easy squat. And you'll breathe in that squat, just keep your heart lifted, your palms maybe together at prayer position, and then you'll catch back up with us. So the setup for runaway train is that it kind of starts to look like we're going to sit back in a chair or maybe a bar stool. You don't have to sit super deep. The arms will come out to the front. You want to make sure your shoulders remain soft. That's the inhale. On the exhale, as you start to straighten your legs and your arms come by your side, you're going to make a plosive sound out through the mouth. Shh. So as you inhale, you're in this position. As you exhale, shh, is this position. And we're going to move between these two on the breath. And the reason why it's called runaway train is because we're going to go faster and faster with the movement and the breath. And that sound, that plosive shh, shh, as it gets faster, it sounds like a runaway train. So keep in mind that because this is going to get faster, it's going to get a little bit harder. It is the heat building. Oftentimes, that's when the mind is like, uh-oh, right? So we want to stay as mindful as we can in terms of alignment that we don't jam our back. So because we're going to be moving from kind of this position, right? Almost like we're thrusting the hips forward a little. It's really easy to kind of lock your knees and jam your back. You don't want to do that. So just be mindful that your legs are firm. You are standing up. Your hips are coming forward a little, but you're not just dumping down. Okay? So here we go. You're going to inhale, sit back like you're sitting in a chair, shoulders soft. Exhale. Shh. Inhale. Shh. A little faster. Shh. 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 One more. Shh. Shh. Hold. Keep your legs bent. Shift your weight back, reach your arms back, drop your shoulders, feel your body shaking like mine is. And then slowly rise to stand. And then from here, you're going to take your feet wide and just start to circle your hips. So all of this energy that we've built up in the legs, all of this energy that we're really drawing from Mother Earth, we're now moving into the second chakra, to the reproductive organ area. Just slow down your breath as best you can. And then reverse. And you know, if it feels better just to drop your arms and you just feel like that's a little more loose for you, feel free. It should just feel good now. So from here, we're going to do another standing series, and so it might be helpful to have your blocks. So if you do have those, you're going to grab them, just set them up on your mat like so. You're going to take your feet wide, about 3 feet or so. It depends on your height, but you want to feel when you reach your arms out that your ankles are about under your wrists or so. So you're going to bend your right knee and turn the entire leg out. Runaway ball, and start to bend the knee here. And then let your back heel just shift back a little bit so that the back toes are slightly in, heel out. And then when you look at your front heel, it should be front heel to back arch alignment, somewhere in there. If you feel like, oh, I have tight hips or tight knees, or there's something going on and it doesn't quite feel right, or you don't feel like you can balance, you can always walk your right foot a couple of inches to the right. So it's more of a heel to heel alignment. So you're going to figure out what feels good for you. So just start to feel equal weight in both legs and feet. Take the arms out. Notice in Warrior 2 that there's a tendency to kind of do something like this, but imagine that I had your back arm and I was gently pulling you back. You also want to feel that your right outer hip is drawing back underneath, scooping underneath, so that your knee is in alignment towards your second toe. So we're going to move dynamically. Inhale, slowly straighten your front leg and bring your hands to your heart. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Maybe each time switching the cross of your hands. This time, inhale, slowly straighten your front leg, reach up. Exhale. Inhale. Maybe look up. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. This time, inhale, keep your arms where they are. Exhale, begin to hinge forward, reaching your right arm as far as you can until you can go no further. Bring your left hand to your left leg or hip and take your right hand down to your block. Any height that feels good for you. So here, you're going to press down into the 4 points of the front foot, really pressing into the big toe mound, making sure you're not locking that front knee, and also pressing through the back outer heel as well. And then you're going to reach your left hand, palm facing out, and see if that arm can reach up. Feeling that there's a little bit of a thoracic twist here, so we're shining the heart outward. The gaze can be either down or out. If your neck allows it, the gaze can go up. That challenges balance. And then bending into your front knee, take your left hand back down by your side. Climb your right forearm onto your thigh, your palm facing up. Really press down so you feel, press down your right forearm into your leg so you feel your shoulder drawn to your back. And then reach your left arm up. Keep feeling that the back foot, particularly the back outer heel, is really rooting down. And see if you can spend your left bicep towards your face and reach the arm. Take one more inhale. And exhale to Warrior 2. And then slowly straighten your front leg and turn the toes forward. And then just heel toe or step your feet towards one another, back to about hip width distance here. Take your hands over your heart. I don't know about you, but I can feel my heart beating. There's definitely a lot of energy moving and blood flow. And then from here, we're going to step the feet back out and do the other side. So just feeling that equal weight between both legs and feet. Start to bend your left leg, and as you turn the knee and the foot, it's really turning from the femur bone, moving in the hip socket, so the whole leg is turning out. And then the back heel, you can just inch it slightly out, toes slightly in, and bend into your front knee and make sure your knee is not moving past your ankle and that your kneecap is tracking towards the second to third toe. So to reach your arms out. Breathing here, take an inhale and one more exhale. And on your next inhale, slowly straighten your front leg and bring your hands to your heart. And as you exhale, reach the arms, bending into the front knee. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. This time, inhale and exhale. And exhale. Inhale, slowly straighten your front knee without locking the knee joint. Exhale, begin to hinge forward, reaching your right hand down by your side, reaching your left arm out, and then see if you can take that hand down, find your block. And then from here, reaching that right hand, palm facing out, so you feel your shoulder opening here. And then start to reach the palm up, palm facing out, feel your shoulders reaching away from your ears. Breathing here. Notice the difference in sides. The legs are working. It is a straight leg pose, and yet we don't want to lock the knees, particularly that front one. So just noticing what's happening in your front foot can really anchor down through the big toe mound, feeling the work in the back leg as you root the back outer edge of the back heel down. And then reaching your right arm down by your side as you bend into your front knee, climb your left forearm onto the thigh. Press the forearm down into the leg. Shrug your shoulders away from your ears. Reaching the right arm up. Start to turn your bicep towards your ears. You reach the arm all the way up and over. If that feels good for you, you can always stay here if you need to. So in particular, because our weight is now all shifting forward, it's imperative that we're working that back leg a lot. So really feel the anchor of the back leg. One more inhale, and on the exhale, rise up to warrior two. And then slowly release your arms, straighten your leg, turn the feet forward, heel toe or step your feet. Just take a moment with your hands at your belly. Just a breath or two. And then from here, we're going to come into one more standing pose that is a balance. And we're going to take the arms out to the sides, coming towards eagle pose here. Take your right arm under your left arm. Give yourself a hug. See if you can float your forearms up and take your right hand towards your face, bringing your hand around, coming into the full bind of the arms. If that's not happening for you, you can be here. You can even be here. We're going to start to work the legs now. So you're going to begin to bend your knees, lift your right heel off the floor. So you are shifting your weight into your left leg. Now, find one point that you can gaze upon softly, breathe, and see if you can cross your right leg over your left. Now, you can keep your right big toe on the floor for balance. If your toe doesn't reach the floor, you could stack a block underneath that foot or toe. And you're sitting back like you're sitting in a chair. Shoulders are soft. Maybe you can bind the leg. Squeezing the thighs together no matter where that right foot is resting. Take another inhale, squeeze in, sit a little bit deeper, and exhale, release. And then come back to center. Pause at center. Maybe close your eyes. Feel your body in space. Feel your breath. And then opening the eyes, and we'll come to the second side. So this pose is challenging for sure. Not only is it a balancing pose, but it's strength building, it's heat building, it's opening the back of the heart, it's waking up the legs. In a lot of ways, it's building confidence. So even if you cannot stay in it, you're working towards that. So every little step gets us where we need to be. So you're going to inhale, reach your arms wide. Exhale, this time take your left arm under your right and give yourself a hug. And then just see if you can bind where you were on the other side and maybe matching that, or maybe going deeper. See what is happening on this side. Start to bend your knees, shifting your weight back a little bit. You're going to lift your left heel. You're keeping your gaze softly fixed. Cross the leg over. Keep bending into the standing leg, shifting your hips back a touch like you're sitting on a bar stool. And then just see where you're at on this side. Maybe binding, maybe not. It's gonna be different from side to side. You can see how much I'm moving, right? Soften something. One more inhale. Squeeze in, exhale, release, and coming back to center. You're gonna just take your feet just a touch wider. We're gonna just slide our hands right down the legs, start to come all the way down into a squat. And if your heels don't easily touch the floor, you can take a folded blanket behind the heels underneath them, or you can always seat yourself on a block, right? So you can always modify as you need to. Keep that in mind. So bring your hands to your heart. Lift your chest. And if the kind of lower outer arm is able to just kind of touch on the inner knee area, inner leg, you want to feel that your legs are hugging into your arms and your arms are gently pressing back into your legs. So it's equal balance of kind of push me, pull me energy there that helps us to lift the chest, to soften the pelvis down. And you can keep it just like this. You could even rest your forehead on your fingers. And then very gently, just take your hands back. If you're on the block, you'll remove it. And just come sit. I'm just going to move your blocks to the sides. And we're going to come lie on our back. So make your way onto your back. Knees bent, feet flat. Let your hands rest somewhere on the front of your torso. And take a moment to just feel. And then on your next exhale, pull both knees in towards your chest, give them a squeeze. Let your low back sacrum continue to draw down and away from you as you hug the knees in. You can rock from side to side, massaging the low back sacrum. And then you're going to grab hold to each knee with each hand and begin to create a big circle with the legs. So imagine that you're rowing a boat. You're using the oars to move the water. As you inhale, you can press the legs away from you, circling the legs out, and then exhale, pull them all the way back and around. Just moving on the rhythm of your breath, feeling into this sensation that the legs are heavy and your arms are really doing the majority of the work. And then you're going to reverse. Inhale here. And exhale, pulling the knees in towards the chest. And inhale, opening the legs. And exhale, pulling the knees in. So just a nice massage on the low back sacrum and the top of the hip area. Also lubricating the hip sockets. And then gently come back to center, back to neutral, and see if you can cross your right leg all the way over your left leg. And you can grab on behind your left thigh or the front of your left shin, whatever you have the accessibility for. This is a deep hip stretch here. As with all the hip stretches, we want to make sure the knees are happy. So if they're not, you can always come into the thread the needle pose here where there's more space between the legs, taking that variation. So as you're here, hugging the knees in, you can just start to just do gentle rocks from side to side. And then keep your legs crossed just like they are, but bring your left foot to the floor. And you're going to let both legs just drop over to your right. And you may find that you need support underneath the legs. You can always grab your blocks or your bolster. You can let your arms just kind of slide any amount out from your body here. And feel your left foot that's just resting on the floor. Take another breath in. As you exhale, begin to draw your navel slightly down towards your spine as you press your left foot into the floor to draw your legs back to center. So you're going to gently uncross the leg. Cross the left leg over the right and pull the knees in towards you and see how it feels on this side. You can just begin to do just tiny little rocks, breathing all the while. You can even just pause at center and just feel your breath moving in and moving out and steering the breath into the sensation, into the stretch. And keeping the legs crossed just like they are, let your right foot come down on the floor. Take a breath in, maybe reach the arms any amount out from the body, and on your exhale, let the legs start to move to your left. You may notice that one side drops down easier than the other. You may feel like you need extra support here, so modify as needed. Just feel that instead of trying to push your legs down, that you're just allowing gravity to do the work. So you're really just surrendering the weight of your body. Take another breath in. As you begin your exhale, feel your navel draw down. Push into your right foot to draw back to center. Gently uncross the legs. And I'm going to have you turn on to your right side. So you're going to take your right arm and float it up. And you're just going to kind of turn right onto the side with your knees bent here initially. So if with your arm outstretched it doesn't feel good, or you would rather bend your elbow, you can do that. Just do what feels good for you. And here you're going to keep your right leg bent as it is. You're going to pick up your left leg and grab onto either the front of the shin, the ankle, or the top of the foot, whatever is accessible for you. You're going to start to point your left knee straight down towards the bottom edge of your mat and begin to flex your right foot. So we're coming into a quad stretch. which after all of the leg work that we've done in this practice should feel pretty darn good. So we want to make sure that we keep the low back protected as we're here. So as you feel your left knee pointing downward towards the bottom edge of your mat, and you start to feel into that first piece of sensation in the quad, also lengthen your tailbone towards the bottom edge of the mat. So there's a negotiation between parts here as the quad is lengthening towards the bottom edge, as well as the tailbone is lengthening towards the bottom edge. So this is going to protect the low back. It's also going to increase the sensation in your quad. Take one more inhale here. And on your exhale, with control, release the leg, extend the leg. Let your left hand just reach on your leg, and then release, restacking the legs here. You're just going to carefully roll back onto your back. We're going to switch sides, so you can float your left arm up and just start to make your way onto your left side here. Same thing, you can figure out where you want your arm to be in space. And you're going to start to pick up your right leg, grab hold wherever is accessible for you, and start to explore this side. So the left foot is flexed, just gently pressing down the outer edge of the left foot into the floor, and breathing here. And make sure that you've got that simultaneous action of the knee is pointing down towards the bottom edge of the mat, the tailbone is lengthening towards the bottom edge of the mat or towards the back of your knee. And then with control, you're going to release the leg, flex the foot, let your hand just rest on your leg here, and reach to the heel. And then gently bend the knee. And turning back onto your back. So for this next posture, we're going to do a twist. If you're on the second 2 weeks of your cycle, you're on follicle stimulating drugs, or you're in the 2-week wait or think you could be pregnant, you're going to avoid this posture and instead do the windshield wiper variation. So for this next posture, you will need your 2 blocks. You're going to place your blocks on your right side. And then you're going to take a breath in, and on your exhale, take your left knee in towards your chest. Then begin to keep your legs in this formation as you turn onto your right side. You're going to take your blocks, and you're going to take one block underneath the inner knee, and the other block is going to go underneath the inner ankle. So you might have to kind of wiggle yourself where that feels good to you. Then you're going to take your right shoulder blade and start to inch it out from under you and to the right. Your head can just be facing up towards the ceiling, or you can begin to turn your head in the opposite direction. So you're going to do what feels good here in terms of that, and take a few breaths. Now, for some of you, you may feel like you want more sensation, you could go deeper. If that's the case, you would start to just lower both blocks down at the same height. Conversely, if you feel like this is too intense, you would take the blocks up a notch, both of them. You always want to be the same height. Inhale here. As you exhale, take your left arm all the way over to meet your right. Reach them a little bit past those bottom fingers. And then gently come back onto your back. You're going to bring your blocks with you. And take your blocks to the left side. Inhale here, exhale, taking the right leg in towards your chest. and then start to turn onto your left side. Taking your leg onto your blocks, just like we did on the other side. Start to wiggle your left shoulder blade out from under you and to the left, taking the arms to either side. Breathing as best you can here. So twisting the spine is very detoxifying for the body. It's like we're just wringing out the toxins with every breath. Just see where it feels nice for you to have your head. And inhale here. On your exhale, take your right arm, float it all the way over to meet your left. Reach the right fingers a little bit past the left fingers, curl in. And then gently coming back onto your back. You can just set your blocks off to the side. And then from here, you're going to draw both knees in towards your chest. And begin to draw the knees wide and bring your hands to the backs of the legs. Just take a moment here and feel this first piece of sensation. And then see if you can begin to flex your feet. Keeping your knees in, start to stamp your feet up towards the ceiling, like your feet could rest on the ceiling above you. So for some of you, this is the pose, happy baby pose, meaning your hands just stay right here. It'll feel soft on the shoulders. If you have the accessibility or want, you can start to take your hands to the outer shins. You're still keeping the knees in, feet flexed. And here you're really gently pulling the knees down as you stamp the feet up. So it's giving us just a little bit of push me, pull me energy. Sacrum's drawing down. If you can come to full pose and your shoulders allow it, you can grab on to the outer edges of the feet. And again, you're just softly pulling your knees down, but also stamping your feet up. Softening the shoulders, softening the inner groins. Gently release, bringing your feet to the floor. Just take a moment. And so we're going to move into Shavasana, and my offering for you in Shavasana is going to require a prop. So go ahead and just turn yourself to one side. You're going to press yourself up to sitting, and you'll start to grab your bolster or pillow and place it long ways on the mat just behind you. Then you're going to turn yourself right in front of the bolster. You can have about an inch or so between your body and the bolster, and then just start to lie yourself back. And just reposition the pelvis where the back feels long, the low back feels spacious, and see where it feels nice for your hands to rest. And if it feels nice here, you can just start to play around with your palms opening. Ultimately, we'd love to have just some straight legs that just feel like they can flop open. And if for some reason your low back just isn't happy with that, you can always take another pillow or bolster and place it under your knees so that the low back feels really supported. So as you begin to settle into your Shavasana, your final resting pose, make sure that you feel warm enough, you have enough clothing, maybe a blanket over you. You can either turn off this video and just be in it as long as your body guides you to be, or you can place on your favorite meditation or music, or just be in silence. Here we begin to surrender the weight of the body to the earth, letting go of any controlled breathing that we've been using during the practice. Body on the earth, on the prop, and feeling that these items are rising up to meet us, and that we can surrender the weight of the body over to them even more. Complete. Begin to bring your awareness back into the physical body, exploring subtle movement that gently wakes the body up. Fingers, toes wiggling, maybe the ankles rolling, maybe the wrists turning. Maybe even just starting to reach the arms up like you're first waking in the morning. You begin to bend the knees. And you can just roll yourself right off the bolster to the floor. Just melting yourself into a fetal position, remaining in the state of ease, of surrender. And using the strength of your arms, start to very gently press yourself up. Finding a comfortable seat. Just take a moment here. Turning your gaze within, simply noticing how your body feels, the state of your mind, the quality of your breath. Flip the palms to the heart center. Bowing the head. Acknowledging the wisdom of your heart as you remember the intention set for your practice today. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.